one person with a gun can control 100 people without one. Now picture this. You're standing there in the bank to cash a check. Somebody walks in and holds up a gun and says, "Everybody lay on the floor." Everybody lays on the floor. Now picture this. Every red-blooded, honest, God-fearing American citizen is packing a gun. He's not looking for trouble. He just has a gun, just in case, you know. The guy walks into the bank, pulls out a gun. Everybody lay on the floor. Instantly, 80 guns are pointed at him. No, sir. You lay on the floor. Gun control is not about guns, it's about control. Every dictator has wanted gun control. Lenin wanted it, Stalin wanted it, Hitler wanted it.
According to the FBI NICS check system, Americans are rejecting Biden's gun control measures 15.8 million times in 2023. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel-like content and what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything is appreciated. Once again, PSA for my Connecticut residents. If you plan on getting a Connecticut pistol permit, please get the training done before July 2024, because then after that, it gets longer, harder, and more expensive, just to disincentivize you, the law-abiding public, from going out and getting your permit in order to then purchase a firearm. If you have your permit, watch the expiration date. Don't let it expire. If it expires after July, you're going to have to do the new training requirements. So keep an eye on that, put it in the calendar, whatever you got to do. But let's talk about this. Now, we know Biden's, in his time of being president, has been nothing more. I mean, you could pretty much say that this has truly been the pinnacle of his administration. He has been pushing gun control nonstop. Well, apparently, Americans just aren't buying into it. And apparently, from all indications, 2023 was a record year for gun sales. Let's come over here. Americans rejected Biden's gun control 15.8 million times in 2023. Americans purchased nearly 16 million firearms last year, a solid rejection of President Biden's gun control agenda, according to the new FBI background check data. The agency this week reported that it conducted 29.8 million background checks in 2023, the fourth highest ever. The highest, I assume, would be under Obama's term, but when non-cell checks were filtered out, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the industry's trade group, said that translated into an estimated 15.8 million actual sales this year. In December alone, the 53rd month in a row of sales over 1 million, NSSF said that there was 1,775,834 gun buys. That is likely to surge this year, 2024, because Biden has promised to put gun control at the center of his liberal agenda. With all the problems that are going on in this country, the only thing Biden can think about is taking guns away from law-abiding people. Amazing. Quote, Americans showed they want their Second Amendment rights by the millions once again. These are solid figures that reflect the mood of Americans and the desire to exercise Second Amendment rights, said NSSF spokesman Mark Olivia. Quote, these figures are a reminder of the importance law-abiding citizens place on their personal safety and freedoms, even as the Biden-Harris administration is using the whole of government approach to chill and ultimately eliminate those rights, said Oliver. What's happening, especially in urban cities, they're seeing the violence escalate. They're seeing, if you want to go there, gun violence escalate. And they realize that due to defund the police and the basically bastardizing of police departments across the country, these people realize, I am my first line of defense. So why are you trying to take that away from me? And they're starting to catch on, and they're starting to, by the droves, buying more firearms to protect themselves. I only hope that translates at the voting booth when they step in there and say, well, who is really looking out for me here? Because a person's taking away my personal protection and, my rights. Am I really going to vote for these people again? You would only hope, but that's maybe a pipe dream in a lot of ways. But the group noted that 24 states have laws in place that allow previously approved gun buyers to add to their collections without getting a new background check, meaning that there were likely many more guns purchased last year than the figures showed. The Biden campaign this week said that it plans to run on a promise to preserve American democracy and rights. Now let's back up a minute. Isn't it funny? Biden is talking about preserving democracy. Just remember, I did a video on it, but just remember, this is the same Democrat Party that is basically nullifying the Democrat primary by allowing only Biden to appear on the ballot. So you can only vote for Biden. 3 states have done it. North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida have all eliminated their primaries to ensure that Biden wins by default. But this is the same people talking about democracy. When they talk about democracy, when they say our democracy is under attack, they're talking about their version of democracy, which is a dictatorship. But many gun owners believe that the president wants to eliminate key constitutional rights, including those related to the First and Second Amendments. What's more, despite this media spin that crime overall has decreased nationally, more Americans have said that they are buying weapons to defend themselves from the random violence they see online every day. It's much like Bidenomics. They tell you, oh yeah, the inflation has gone down and the economy is better. Yet when you go to the supermarket, the person at ground zero goes to the supermarket and looks at the prices of food and basic necessities and sees that the price is going up. They don't buy into it. When they say that crime is going down and people who live in certain areas are looking around going, this doesn't look like crime going down to me. They always have to spin, but the reality is always different. Oliver said that sales should continue to grow as the 2024 campaign moves through the year. Quote, "These figures are encouraging for the firearm industry going into 2024. History indicates that background checks for the lawful use of firearms typically rises during election years. This industry is ready to satisfy the demand for lawful firearm ownership in America," he said. Okay, let's go ahead and come out of that. I'm not surprised, because the same thing happened when Obama was running for president and when he won. Gun sales exploded. And even on a local level, I'm talking about the state of Connecticut, of course, when SB 1160 was being proposed and being pushed through the process, gun sales exploded. HB 6667, once again, gun sales exploded right before it, up until the day of and even beyond the actual signing of the HB 6667 bill. People were buying. I remember, because I indulge myself too, but I remember going to one gun store and I'm watching people walk out with like handfuls of little receivers, like 5, 6 at a time, just going right out, buying them up, doing all the paperwork and walking right out with them. I've always said, when you make a law, it's much like prohibition. When you make a law where you tell somebody they can't have something, even if that person really didn't have an inkling to buy it or not, to own it in the first place, they go right out and buy it, and they buy it en masse. But what worries me a lot about all of this registration nonsense that these states are pushing is now, what's the next step? Because crime is not going to change. We know this. Common sense people know. You don't prevent crime by telling good people what they can do. So what's next? That's the part that worries me. Because here in Connecticut, Lamont already hinted at, I'm just going to do a complete unilateral ban on so-called assault weapons. And even if you have them legally and you register them, I'm going to push to have you turn them in. And Democrats even said, I'm not on board with that. But who's to say that he won't try it again? And now that they have these registrations, they have a list of people who own certain items and how many and what configurations. And it makes them easier to then say, well, we're going to come out and round them up. Because registration is going to lead to confiscation. It's inevitable. You go back to Weimar Republic back in Germany back in 1930s. They had a gun registration claiming it will make everybody safer. Hitler comes into power, and using that same registration, basically went out and confiscated firearms from one specific group of people. I fear we're heading down that same road. But Let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.